Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is Kaga. So, everyone has those moments where just feel a little burnt out on a particular game. Yeah, well, in this case it wasn't just one game that got me, it was a bunch of games. World of Tanks, World of Warships, and even War Thunder. I just had that moment. So, now I'm going to address the question, what have I been doing with myself? Because obviously, if you're feeling burnt out, you don't really want to keep playing the same game time after time after time. And that also brings me to what I promised. This was be a bit of a special video for you all. And yeah, these three segments are the last you will see of aforementioned games. So, what have I been doing with myself? Well, I'll give you a hint. I switch genres. That's right.
Wake up. Please. You are our last hope. Please stop her. Stop Jin So-yeon.
Hey, wake up.
No need to adjust your sets. That is exactly how that cinematic looks, and what you're looking at is an MMO. In particular, this is the Korean MMO, Blade and Soul, and I have to admit, over the last weekend, I have been playing the crap out of this game. I cannot recommend it enough. If you happen to like Kung Fu movies, this is the MMO for you, because the combat really does feel that way. Yeah, that was a cinematic, but that just about covers up how the gameplay actually works. It's kind of amazing how they got that to work in this particular game. But you know what? Enough of me talking about, just in vague about it. Let's show you what a dungeon looks like. Now, right now, the trouble with this is I'm trying to avoid giving any massive spoilers, just in case anyone feels like they ever want to see a playthrough of this. But anyway, moving on. We're gonna go ahead and, yeah, character I have in front of you is my Blade Master, and one of the specialties of them is, you know, using the sword. And the guy in front of me is a Devastator, has the ability to use that massive axe, and it's one of these. Those are two of the 7 classes in this particular game. More on that in a different segment if people want it. But basics of combat here are a little different than your traditional MMO. And it has to deal with damage. There's no like true tank class in the game like you would have in like the Paladin or the Warrior from World of Warcraft or Guild Wars respectively. You just have a bunch of what are essentially DPS classes, and what you have to do is be effective in dealing the damage, and you have to choose whether you evade taking damage. Oh yeah, and you can throw bombs at people if you find them in the drops. So yeah, you can choose to evade taking damage, preempt the damage, or block the damage. Preferably in that order, because if you can just avoid taking it altogether, that's just better. And part of that is to do with I guess in some respects it's the rarity of healing items in the game, and also to do with the fact that there's a certain type of cooldown associated with between uses. It's not like a lot of games where you can almost spam them endlessly. So it is you will run into cases where you will just get spam killed if you are not careful and actually watching your health and preempting the enemy's attacks, blocking them accordingly. And I guess is one of the parts I like about this game is that it's heavily dependent on you weighing whether or not you should choose to attack through the damage, try to respond to a tell that the enemy is making, or just out DPS them altogether. And as one of those, it really makes the game a little bit more engaging. And you know, it really lets you play the way you want it to, because there is such a range of customization options, from not just how you approach combat and the types of skills you use and when, but also in the skill tree is just huge in terms of customization options, which skills you level up, and the effect that that has on your particular style of play. And you know, there are just certain things where you can just fall in love with certain types of combinations, certain maneuvers, and it's one of the few MMOs where it didn't feel like it was a specific like class-based meta, and a little bit more of your personal taste for the type of combat you want getting into it. And you know, it's kind of refreshing, especially with some of the games I have been playing recently. And I will admit, this is the first MMO I've actually played in a good long while, at least since RF Online so many years ago. So having that actual choice is it's really nice and refreshing. And then adding in some skill cap on certain classes about evading, blocking, and just makes the game a little bit more fun. And there's just a bunch of the little minor things in the game mechanics that I really enjoy. A little bit more on that in this particular video, but one of the things I really do enjoy is that you can predict the enemy's movements like that and counter them and shut them down. And this was towards the beginning of my play, and I just thought about out DPSing this guy, and I keep getting knocked down for it. Ugh. Take a little more damage than I really need to, but it's not going to change the outcome of this fight too much. Okay, boom. Alright. So, let's talk about a piece of the game that I have been falling in love with over a while. I can't forget how long ago I figured this out, but it's to do with the motion. And if you're very careful about when and where you do this, you can basically soar through the sky this way, and it's actually one of the more interesting ways you can get around. It's not the most interesting thing you can do in terms of character motion. I mean, I can get on top of buildings like here. I have had so much fun just trying to figure out what buildings I can get on top of in this game, how I can get up there. It's actually somewhat like the most fun I can have in town when I'm not doing side quests. I know that might sound weird that I'm having so much fun just seeing which buildings I can climb on top of, but at the same time, you can see so much from there. And let's talk about one of the more amazing motion mechanics in this game. Holy crap. That's not really a special cinematic per se, but that's just one way you can move around. And when I saw this happen, I just had to capture this. That is the valley floor beneath me. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's rather short video. I know that 10 minutes is a bit of a trifle in terms of some of the videos on the channel. I hope you enjoyed the little departure from the usual content here. If there's interest in the comments section, I may consider doing a few more videos from this particular game, so let me know about that. The regularly scheduled War Thunder Wednesdays will be on time and on schedule. Hope to see you around for that. So thank you and good day.